Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kashawn Hopkins. I'm an instructional technology specialist from Oklahoma Public School Resource Center. And in this Tech Talks, we're going to talk about iMovie, nice little iPad, Apple device, movie creator and editor. So it's a fantastic tool. I'd love to jump into it. But first, we're joined here as well with my colleague. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Kurt Bernhardt. I'm the technology director for Oklahoma Public School Resource Center. And Kashawn and I make up the tech team here. Just reach out if you need any type of technology help.
Yep. And I would recommend the best way to do that is through techteam@opsrc.net. That way you can get both me and Kurt. We can talk amongst ourselves and talk with you, and just anything that you want to chat about technology-wise, we can get to it. Additionally, if you're right here in the live session, you can get to these slides over here. But I'm going to read it out. This link that I have here, since it is case sensitive, and I'm going to copy it as well. So lowercase t period ly / uppercase L lowercase q v o. And if you're accessing it through the slides, you can just click on that and you'll have access to all that stuff. It will be on the Tech Talks page. So yeah, for those who don't know what iMovie is, I'm just going to show you what it's capable of. I have a little demo on this next page here. So let me pull it in the full screen, and then you can just kind of see just a little bit of what's possible through the magic of movies and this fun little thing I threw together.
Oh hey, didn't see you there. My name's Kashawn Hopkins, and I'm a technology wizard. And I also solve crimes with my pet bird. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, you can see a couple of things on there that I threw together in this video. You got the voiceover, you have multiple clips, we have little transitions there. I got a title. I can put filters on there. So there's lots of little nice editing things that you can do, and it's all part of the suite. It's all free. And just a part of all of this stuff, and it's real easy to share. I have it as a single file here in my Google Drive, but you can upload it to any cloud-based services, or you could import it directly into a Google Classroom. So it's a great way that not only that you can create videos, but you can put this tool in the hands of your students, and well, then they can start creating videos. So it's a nice tool for that, and really easy to use. That's when I use a little bit of time to show you a bit of that. So a little bit of the schedule. I've already done my intro and my schedule that we're doing right now. I'm going to jump into my objective. Then the next couple of parts that I'm going to be doing, I'll talk a little bit about integrating technology. I always like to start out my technology talks with that, because I think it's such an important part of the process to start with what the technology is going to look like, how are we going to use it, and what is it going to be used for. And so lots of different ways to answer those questions, and I'm going to showcase one of them that I think is a good answer to it, of how to integrate technology. Next, I'm going to do a little overview on the tool, just spending a little time answering a few questions specifically about it. Then I want to spend the majority of the time that are together to do a little showcase showing off the tool. I have my iPad here, so if you are here, you'll see two versions of me. One of them is on my iPad, so the showcase will be done on that, so you can see it directly. Then I'll talk a little bit about tool applications. This is where I combine the integrating technology portion with the tool portion, putting those together, and just giving you an idea of what this tool might look like in your classroom. And then we're going to wrap things up. I have a couple of pages on the slide, so you do want access to those, because I have some extension activities or things that will help you revisit anything that I've talked about here. There's a link to the evaluation, and we'll answer any questions that we might have. So plenty to cover here, and I want to make sure that I use everybody's time wisely. So away we go. Oh, I got two of these pages. Let me get rid of those. Okay. First of all, my objective after this training, teachers will be able to integrate iMovie into their classroom to create, edit, and share videos to help students achieve their learning goals here. So to break this objective down just a little bit here, remember the top thing whenever you're introducing technology in your classroom is a student-centered approach. What are they going to get out of this? I want them to help them accomplish their learning goals here. Out of the iMovie, a couple of things that you can do: create, edit, and share. Those are the three kind of pillars I see for iMovie. And then when it comes to integrating it, there's a bunch of different ways that you kind of approach that, depending on what your pedagogy is, or what structure that you want to try to use. One of the ones that I would recommend is the Technology Integration Matrix. It's created by the Florida Center of Instructional Technology on there. But yeah, the basic idea behind it is that there are 5 different characteristics of learning environments that you can take a look at. These are sort of lenses you can view your technology of, and these are like things that your students can get out of this technology, the things that can enhance it or transform part of your classroom. And then there are 5 different levels. You can see this as the columns here of technology integration, starting from the left, working your way to the right, from simple to complex, to passively getting information, to using technology to transform what you're doing in your classroom. So you want to strive towards the right-hand side of this matrix, but sometimes it's a good idea to start from the left-hand side and see kind of where you are in your classroom. A little bit of breakdown just to go one step further into this so you can get a pretty good, more clear understanding, just in case you're unfamiliar with the technology integration matrix. The 5 characteristics, starting from the top, working your way down, would be active. So this is when the technology is introduced into your classroom and being used as a tool. At what level are your students being active in their learning experiences? For collaborative, how does a tool enable students to work together with other students, peers, people outside of the classroom? Constructive, how does the tool help a student connect old information with new information? Authentic, how does the tool help a student connect what they're learning to a real life context outside of the classroom? So it's not just an isolated incident that's happening there. It's something that they can see is connected to things that they are going to be interested in. And finally, goal directed, how does the tool help students accomplish their own goals there? So a little bit of meta learning in there. So these are things I want you to keep in mind. I'm going to go through one of these characteristics as a part of our application section, but I just wanted to lay this foundation. So as we're working through the tool, try to think of how can this tool, where do you see it fit inside of any one of these categories here? Okay, so the tool itself, iMovie, a little bit of a definition of it. What is it? It's a video editing app on Apple devices. So if you got a Mac, if you got a cart of iPads on there, if you got a phone as well, you can get iMovie on that. In fact, chances are if you booting up an iPad, it's going to already be on there. It's just a part of the tools that's there. If not, I can show you a link where you can access it. I have it down there. Right now, what can it do for your classroom? And it has a couple of different features on there that I'm hopefully going to show you. First of all, I always love it when things like these are free, and chances are it's going to be pre-installed in your Apple device. It has a bunch of editing tools. You can import media, so you can see where you can pull in video clips from different things or sound clips into there. So it's real nice and real easy, and it plays nice with different formats. It comes with transitions and filters and project templates. So you don't have to start from scratch. If you want to create, you could just go into there and start pulling things and effects to add into your project. So you'll see a lot of these are just little buttons that you have to recognize where they're at. And, if you give your students an opportunity to play with the tools, some of them will just figure out how to do some things. And maybe you'll get a little surprise there where they'll figure something out that you didn't even know was a feature on there. So I'm going to try to show you what I can. But for right now, probably the very first step of where you're going at is just messing with the tool yourself. So if you want to follow along, where do you access it? You can get to it through apple.com/iMovie, or you could go to your whatever app store that you have on your device on there and search for iMovie. It'll look a little something like this. And then you can download for iOS or the Mac OS on there, or you could go to whatever store that you have. All right, so I'm going to do a little switcheroo here. This tech talk is going to be a little different. Usually I do everything from my computer screen, but I'm not working on a Mac here. So that's why I have my trusty handy dandy iPad on here. So give me a quick moment to do a little switcheroo here. If you're following along, maybe you could use this opportunity to download the app if you don't have it already, or find it. Let me just start my broadcast. There we go. Let me stop sharing on one end and start sharing on the other end. Yes. Fantastic. Okay. So let us go here. I'm just moving a few windows on my main screen so I can make sure everyone's seeing what they're supposed to see. But yeah, we're going to go into iMovie. I'm going to tap on that. And whenever it opens up here, you have a nice little clean interface. The very first thing that you're going to see is your projects. You can see some of my older ones of me playing around and also in the other Tech Talk that I have. So a great place to start would be at the top left-hand corner over here. I'm going to tap on that plus symbol here. And we're just going to start a fresh project. Now, there are two ways that you can start. You can either go with a fresh movie on the left-hand side, which is what we're going to spend a majority of our time doing. And on the right-hand side, you can create trailers. Trailers are kind of nice, and I'll show you a bit of this here. It's a template, and they basically have these little scenes here where you can get practice recording, you work within a storyboard, you fill out the credits. I think this is a really good place, especially if you want to work on the collaborative aspect of pulling a movie together on here. So like, for example, I'm just gonna scroll through, I'm gonna pick a random one with a couple of cast members in there. I can see as I'm switching in between those on the bottom left-hand corner of the main window, I can see how many cast members should be involved here. On the bottom right-hand corner, I have the rough duration of how long these videos are going to be. And in the middle, you can play the plus button to give yourself a preview. Oh, wow. Pretty nice. Okay, you can get a little bit of an idea on that one. Oh man, the sound is coming out great on that. That's super cool. But yeah, you can watch the scene and it's like, okay, this is something I want to do. Go to the top right-hand corner where it says create, tap that. And you can see on the right-hand side, you have a little outline, little credits, things to think about. And on the left-hand side over here, you can see a preview of what the video is going to look like. So like, for example, I'm on the scene that says, Holden's on the Loose. I believe that's the title name. So I can go up there at the very top right-hand corner in the outline, tap that, and I can type in, instead of the Holdens, I could do, I don't know, the Hopkins. Nope, that's not how my last name is spelled. The Hopkins. Oh goodness, come on, help me out here, autocorrect. There we go. Hopkins. The Hopkins are making a movie. I don't know, some kind of text on here, but you can make some easy changes to the template here. You can even go to the top right-hand corner and tap on where it says storyboard right next to where it says outline. And this gives you an idea of what scenes that you can create on here. You can either pull from, you'll see on the bottom left-hand corner, clips that you already created, or you could create them yourself. So this is something fun to play around with. I'm not going to go too far in depth, but maybe I'll save it for another Tech Talk, maybe a little sequel to this one, because there's just so much more stuff that you can get in here. But the thing, I'm going to back up out of this. I'm going to go to the top left-hand corner and click tap done. Yeah, the thing I want to spend a majority of my time is just being able to create a video on the fly and showing you a few of the features, something that you're going to commonly use here. So let me tap done, top left-hand corner. I'm going to go back to projects, top left-hand corner. You can see the left arrow, and I'm going to tap on the plus button once again, and then I'm going to tap on movie. This is where we're going to add. So hopefully I've given you enough time to actually get through here. You'll see fantastic that I have clips already created here. But I want to start fresh here. So at the bottom right-hand corner of my screen, I see in blue text, create movie, 0 items, 0 minutes. That makes sense since this is a fresh clip here. Come on, let me tap it. There we go. And this is where a lot of the Disney movie magic is going to happen here, is at this little dashboard, this view here that you have. So in the top left-hand corner, I have my main screen. You can see whatever is happening on your clip is going to be showing up there. Once I record a clip, you'll see it in a bit. On the bottom portion of my my screen here is a timeline. You'll see all of your clips, your sounds, your effects, all of that will go down there, and you can scrub through using that vertical line you'll see in the middle of my screen. We have a couple of buttons that we can use here that I'll try to highlight. And then on the top right-hand corner, we have everything that you want to import. So anything that you have on your iPad, you can pull from here, or whatever device that you might have connected on here. So I'm going to get rid of that. Yeah, there we go. But if you ever need to bring it back up, top right-hand corner, on the very top right-hand corner, you tap the plus button there, and you can always pop that up. And if you want to take it out, you tap the X button, and we'll get rid of this. Now, before I go any further, let me record just a little bit of information here. So it even says here in the middle of your screen, either you need to select media or you need to record something from your camera. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tap that camera symbol on the bottom left-hand corner, kind of in the middle of the page there. But you can see the microphone and the camera icon. I'm going to tap on that. I'll pull up my camera. I'm going to switch this around. If you're a little unfamiliar, right now it's pointing towards the back of my iPad, which is nothing. So I'm going to go there. You'll see the big circle, the red circle on the right-hand part of my screen. Right above that are arrows pointing at each other. I can use that to switch my camera around, and we'll have a fun little view of me. Hey, how you doing? On my screen. So I'm going to try to record just a little bit of footage. I don't know. I'm going to tap it, record, and go, hey, everybody, this is Kashawn Hopkins from OPSRC. It's really nice to meet all of you. Super fun. Yeah, I know it's a little weird, especially when you see yourself doing and recording, but sometimes you got to push through that anxiety, that weirdness, that uncomfortableness. You got to embrace it a little bit whenever you're creating a video, because it's all about like having fun and creating some stuff. And some of that your students are going to have to go through, and that's okay. But if you're excited about that stuff and they see that excitement come from you, I think it'll just make it a little easier for them to use that. So, but for those who are like, perfectionists, they want to have a couple of takes on that, that's totally fine. Bottom left-hand corner, we have the retake button on there. So if I flub one of my lines on that one, I need to do another retake, that's fine. You tap that button, lets you record it again. If you think it's great, or if you just want to listen to what it sounds like, you tap that play button in the middle of the screen. And you can hear it. You can't hear it now because the sound, I don't think, is going through, but that is quite all right. This is fine to me. So I'm going to tap use video on the bottom right-hand corner, and bing, bang, boom, here I am. Let's throw in another clip in here. So I'm going to tap the camera symbol. I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to have it pointed at me. Very lovely, handsome fellow over here. And I'll say, I don't know. I really enjoy working at OPSRC because I get to work with amazingly talented and experienced people. It's such a wonderful time just collaborating with them and coming up with new ideas. All right. Use video, boom, 2 clips already written, ready to go. Now I do want to edit a little bit of that. I can tell on the front and end of those clips, I could probably tune that up a little bit so it becomes a cleaner video. But if I tap my finger, or if I tap my finger on this timeline and scrub going to the left or right, you can see myself in the main screen there. And I can have a easier time going through and seeing what's in here. So when I do make these edits, it'll be a little bit easier there. Awesome. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure we're staying good on time. Now, before I move on, probably one of the best things, if you get nothing out of this, at the very least, one, make sure to get that you can start this up and make it to this window by starting up a fresh video, a movie project. And then 2, the biggest thing that I want you to get out of this is on the top right-hand corner, right up here, this little circle with the question mark on it. If you tap it, it will give you this lovely tooltip view. So this is really great, especially if you don't remember what some of these icons are on there. Of course, you can just play around with it if you'd like. But if you tap that, you get this kind of tooltip view here. And on the very bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you'll see a Learn More button. I'm going to tap on that. And here we are. We have an iMovie user guide. If I tap on the table of contents, you can see all sorts of goodies that are in here. Things to edit your movies, your trailers, how to share some of the stuff, where to get started. And it's lovely little articles that will help you out. And these articles connect to other articles. So really great resource there, especially if you're a fresh learner on there. But yeah, let's go a little bit over things that you can do now that I have some clips in there. First of all, on the bottom left-hand corner, right next to the camera button, is the microphone button. If you want to do voiceovers on here, you can do this real easy. You have a clip running in the background that you've already recorded. Then you tap record on here. Now, I don't have my audio connected on here, otherwise we'd have kind of a weird Zoom issue on here. But at the very least, you can see if I tap record, it gives me a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and then I start talking. And as I'm talking, you can see that the video clip is playing on the background here. And so I'm going to stop it right there. Boom. And if I like it, I can review it. Or if I want to listen to it again, I can review it with the sound. If I want to retake, I can just tap it right there. Or if I love it, tap accept. That way, when I scrub through it, you can see that right below my video clip down there is the audio clip. Now, typically you could see the sound, like the amplitude of the sound down there to show that you actually recorded something. If you see what you're seeing right now on there, that means nothing recorded, and that's just because the sound is not connected on here. But yeah, that's how you can do voiceovers, quite simple. Going to the right, more to the icons in the middle, we have the go back icon. You can tap that to go back to the beginning of a clip. You can press the play icon to get a little preview of what's going on here. In the middle, in between the clips, you can see that there's a little tiny box in there. Excuse me, that represents transitions. So if I tap on that, I'll get a little context menu at the very bottom of my screen. So this is a quick way that you can switch your transitions. Right now, it's kind of a dissolve one. So if I tap preview, you can see that when it switches between the clips, it will dissolve it, giving me a nice little transition to make it a little better. If I don't like that one, I could always tap and switch this up. So maybe I want to do a little slide action here, a little PowerPoint slide there. Or if I don't like that slide, maybe I'm going to tap the slide button again, and you can see the arrows are switching around. So maybe I want kind of a slide down option. You can see there. Pretty cool. And you can switch it up. By default, the length is 1 second. You can adjust that a little bit depending on what you think looks good. And that menu at the bottom is context sensitive. So if you want to change settings on things like the sound or the video clip itself, if you tap it, it will change what options show up on the menu. So if I tap, for example, my video clip, you can see that there's some actions down there. Like, for example, if I want to scrub to the middle of this and split this into 2 clips, so I can put 2 different effects on that. I could do that. I'm going to tap split, and you can see that I've split it into 2. So now I can put transitions in between, or I can apply effect to the 2 different clips, even though they're technically one single clip. Or if I wanted to put a title on there, you saw that I put Technology Wizard in my demo on there. Maybe I want to put my name on here. So I'm going to go to the very bottom and tap titles down there. And you can see that there's a couple of different animation ones on here. So let's say, for example, I don't know, let's do a reveal. Yeah, that looks fun. And it gives me a little piece of text there. If I tap on where it says title text there, and then tap edit, I can type in whatever I want. So let's just do my name, Kashawn Hopkins. There we go, tap done. That way, when that part of the clip plays, it will reveal, and then my name will pop up there. Pretty nice. Now, there are some ways that you can fine tune the things like the title. Not only at the very bottom, you also have actions down there, but on the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see that there are 3 icons there from the left to the right. The first one, the uppercase A, lowercase a, allows you to switch the font a little bit there. So you can switch that up if you want to make the font a little readable, more readable, or if you want to switch it to something that fits your design of your story or whatever video that you're trying to do. You can switch the colors by using that little circle color wheel bit there. And you can really fit any color that you want. They have grids here, but if you tap spectrum, you can get really any color that you want. You could do sliders. If you want to do kind of the RGB or the hex color, use any of that to find the exact color of purple that you love so much. You have some of that in there. So lots of little ways that you can tweak each one of these clips with different effects on here. So these are things that I would highly recommend if you give your students an opportunity, if you give them some time to get familiar with it, let them play with these different features and really fill it out. Okay, last couple buttons on the right-hand side over there, we have, of course, the curved arrow button. That button is going to be your friend. That is the undo button. This is your Control-Z on here, but for iPads. So if you make a mistake on there, if I don't like that color and I don't really remember how to get into here and undo those changes, I can just tap that and it goes away. Very fantastic, real easy. Additionally, the last button on there on the very far right-hand corner is the sound bar. if you want to choose to hide it or not. I have my titles up here, but if I tap that, you can see that it either expands or shrinks the sound bar at the very bottom of my screen. So that just frees up a little more of space down there. Okay, I'm out of time for the showcase part. I would love to show more, but maybe I'll save that for the next time. The last thing I want to make sure that you all walk away with is the share button on here. Once you are done, top left-hand corner, I'm going to tap done here. Just give it a moment, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. And then I'm brought to this screen over here. From here, you can preview your clip, your full movie here, or at the very bottom of your screen, you can tap that little box with the arrow that's pointing up. If I tap on that, you can share it in a bunch of places like AirDrop to other devices, share it through messages, mail. One of the things that you can do is share it through Classroom, which is fantastic, because if I tap on that, it's going to export the movie out, and you can combine it, whatever account that you're logged in at the time. You can make it an announcement, you can create an assignment, you can ask a question, you can create material. So there's tons of ways that you can share in there if you're already a part of a Google Classroom, which is great. Or you could just save the video as a simple file, save it to file, share it to album. So lots of different ways that you can share this out, which is really good. It's nice, convenient once you're able to share it to other people. Okay, thank you, iPad. You've been fantastic. I'm going to switch back here. But thank you so much, everybody. If you've made it up to this point, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope this has been a valuable use of your time. A few last things that I do want to cover with the last couple of minutes that I do have. First of all, think about if this is something that is interesting to you, this tool, I highly recommend that you think about what this tool would look like in your classroom, what students that you think are going to benefit from this, what students that you think are going to struggle with it. And I think you'll see that if you allocate some time when you first use this tool to just have students play with it, just have them make a mess, give them something to shoot for, like, I just want you to put some clips together, or I want you to add some effects on these clips. So give them something to shoot for, but leave it really open-ended. There's a little activity. If you're thinking about planning on how to use this tool, there's a little activity that's called Move Up a Level that I got from the people who created Technology Integration Matrix. The idea is that you take a look at a characteristic of your classroom that you want to try to build on, and then start from one level and then work your way from one level to the next as your students gain experience and comfort, and you do the same. So the one that I'm using here in an example is the constructive characteristic. A definition that I pulled from the matrix directly is to use a technology tool to connect new information to the prior knowledge rather than passively receive information here. So that gives you an idea of what we're trying to shoot for, what characteristic we're working with here. So I'm giving a couple of recommendations on ways that you can pursue this. It's not necessarily the only way, but it's a recommendation I'm giving from you to me. Me to you. So entry level is the first level of technology integration according to the technology integration matrix. So this is characterized more by passive use. So you're just simply introducing this to your students and they get an idea of what the tool can do. So I recommend that you use the tool, use it to demonstrate some kind of skill. I think this is really good for like remote learning for your students to be able to prepare something and put your face on it and put your personality, your spin on that. And I think that's just a great way to introduce your students, getting them used to getting content from you through these videos. But you don't want that to be forever on there. You want to try to put these tools in their hands so they get that experience. So that is where going from the entry to the adoption phases come in. And the adoption phase is characterized more like by procedural use of the tool. So you're just using the tool in the ways that I've showed you. So putting in clips, adding in effects, putting in titles, recording voice work, just getting like real simple, like a skill-based style of using these tools. So something like having the students tell a story. They just have a template, they work together with other students, they record footage, and they just work within that storyboard. So really tight structured. You're really telling them, I want you to do these certain things just to get them used to using the tool. Once they develop experience over time, they get more and more familiar with the tool. That's when you throw in kind of that open-ended project, and that's where the adaptation phase comes in. This is characterized by independent use. So at this phase, if you want to move them up from adoption, once you feel like they're comfortable with it, throw in, have students make a video project, and they can show off things they learned in like a field trip or some kind of experience, or maybe things that they learned over a unit, or maybe you have them read a book and they give your thoughts on that, or they do kind of a character exploration. So there's lots of ways to approach it, but leave this open-ended. Let them use this tool, but really let them dictate how it's going to be used on there. How is this going to connect to everything that you've talked about? How do we put it all together into one cohesive piece here? So yeah, this is part of the slides. This is just one idea. There's other characteristics. I've only just covered one piece. There's so many different ways that you can use this tool and things to think about that. And so if you want to continue that conversation, if this is something that you're interested in, please reach out to us. I'm going to wrap this up because unfortunately I'm out of time, but thank you so much everybody for joining me here. The last couple of pages for my slides well, this page is dedicated to iMovie. Resources on here. In particular, check out this Everyone Can Create video page. It's created by Apple. They have some really wonderful educational services on there. And I think this is really good even to share with students. Something to keep in mind that it's only accessible through Apple devices. So yeah, whatever you're going to use iMovie on, you can get it through there. And I think it's a really good guide. Next page is dedicated to technology integration. If all that stuff I was talking about, the matrix, is striking a chord with you, I have plenty of resources, not only on the technology integration matrix, but other frameworks that you can use and standards as well to help guide if you want to get more of the technology that you're putting in your classroom, or if you're trying to get a good start on that. And then finally, I have this page on here. I have a link to my evaluation on there. So please take an opportunity. It won't take longer than a minute or so to fill some of that stuff out, and it helps us greatly. As a reminder, I'm Kashawn Hopkins. So nice to meet anybody that's here, especially if you listen to the recording. I thank you so much for listening, taking some time out of your day to get this, this kind of PD here. I'm joined here with Kurt Bernhardt, who is our technology director. You can reach either you can reach any of us through techteam@opsrc.net. Got it up here on the screen. We got the social media buttons on there if you're accessing this through these slides. And if you want to get through any more of this, I have some more exciting things coming up on the Tech Talks, especially next year. I'm really excited about it. So yeah, come and hang out and listen to more about these tools. You can do so at opsrc.net/Tech Talks. But for right now, yeah, I'm out of time. So I'll take questions. Thank you so much, everybody.